Hey guys, it's Ruby here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you guys the resources I am using to learn and advance in my French studies. So as you may see here, I am on Mango Languages, and if you saw my last video where I share the resources I use to learn Japanese, you may have seen this already, but today I'm going to go over part of a lesson so you guys have an idea of how it works and how awesome Mango Languages really is. So right now I want to go over the amazing languages that are available to learn on here. So we have Spanish, French, English, Japanese, German, Korean, Chinese, Mandarin, Russian, Italian, all these amazing languages available on the very tip of your fingers. Okay, you guys, so now we're right here on my French section, and as you guys can see, there are 5 units, and within the units, there are chapters, and within the chapters, there are lessons. So now let's jump into lesson 14. Okay, so what I really love about Mango is how before every lesson, you have your conversational goals, right? You have the little pinpoints right here. And along with that, you also have your grammar goals. So it's really awesome because really it's set up in a way so you are able to really accomplish success in your language learning journey. So let's jump right into it.
One way to say, the bill, please, is
L'addition, s'il vous plaît.
But you are literally saying, the sum, please.
So it's really awesome because you get to hear that and you can also repeat it.
L'addition, s'il vous plaît.
And if you just want to hear one specific word,
Addition.
you just click on that particular word. And it's really awesome because as you can see, each word is highlighted a specific color so you know which word is which. So s'il vous plaît is please, addition is bill, and the is the L with the apostrophe because since it's an A, you don't need la addition, it would be l'addition.
To say, the bill, you would say,
L'addition.
which literally means the sum.
And Mango goes as far as to breaking it down even further for you just to make sure that you know that the bill is l'addition.
Now try and say, the bill.
L'addition.
L'addition.
So it's really awesome because it really is based on repetition just to make sure that you're actually learning the material.
Let's learn how to say, I owe. Listen closely and repeat.
Je dois.
So it's really awesome because right here you also have the option to do a voice comparison. Okay, so let's click on that. And you record yourself basically saying the phrase or the word, je dois. Then you can drag the little frequency right here to match up with that one. As you can see, it doesn't really match up perfectly, but then you can play it together.
Je dois.
And you can see and hear where it is that works, where it doesn't, where you need to improve on. It's just really cool because it really does help with regards to learning how to use like the intonation and the timbre of your voice to really get the accent down.
How do you think you would say, I owe you?
I would think it's je vous dois.
Je vous dois.
Did you notice? The position of you is a bit different in French. It goes before the verb. Je vous dois.
So here's just an example of what a grammar note looks like. It's really helpful because you really do learn a lot. It's not just learning the words or the sentences. You really do get little grammar notes. So you're able to keep them in mind for future words and phrases that you will be learning. It really does help you to accomplish that type of success with your language learning.
Nice. Now practice saying, how much?
Combien?
Combien?
Combien? Combien?
Combien?
And you can click the word itself so it's a little slower.
Combien?
Combien? Combien? That's cool because you can also shadow what you're trying to learn to say. Combien? It's not perfect.
Here's a good question. How would you say, how much do I owe you?
Combien je vous dois?
You see right there, you put what you already learned, je vous dois, I owe you, and combien, you put it together to say, how much do I owe you? Combien je vous dois?
The service is included in the price, and people rarely leave much for a tip. But if you're happy, you can leave a tip, of course.
And here's an example of a cultural note. As you can see, it's really cool because you do learn a lot of valuable things about the culture of the language you're learning about. And that's just as important as the language itself, because if you're learning the language, you're obviously interested in something about the culture itself. Now let's go back. I'm going to exit right here. I also want to talk to you guys about right here quickly, these little circles right here, the listening, reading, recap, and quiz. These are basically just to test you more on your ability of listening, reading, and understanding what you're hearing. And you get tested for each chapter based on what you reviewed for those lessons and just to see whether or not you have really grasped what you've learned in this particular section. So it's really cool. I also have these card reviews where you can start and basically review what you've already learned.
Now, how do you say, "A bottle of mineral water, please"?
So it's really awesome. If you do have the financial means to invest in something like this, I would definitely recommend Mango Languages for learning because it certainly does help. I can say that with 100% certainty because I started Japanese from scratch and I'm doing very well thanks to Mango Languages. So the next online resource that I would love to provide you guys with that is completely free is Reversal Translation. It is so awesome because, fun fact, I talk to myself a lot in French because I feel that it definitely does help me improve with my speaking abilities and all that good stuff. And at times I do catch myself where maybe there's a word or a few words I don't know how you say in French. So I will come here to Reversal and I will translate a particular English sentence into French. So for example, let's just say like someone took my money. So someone took my money. We would translate that and the response would be there. Quelqu'un a pris mon argent. Mon argent. I'm so sorry, it's so terrible. But let's listen. You can listen right here.
Quelqu'un a pris mon argent.
Yes, exactly. And it's so awesome because you also see examples right here of that particular sentence being used in sentences, in context. So it definitely helps you gain a better understanding. And you can even copy some of these sentences down and then try to create your own sentences to better internalize that new particular word or meaning. Because yes, you do learn like quelqu'un, someone, took, a pris, because it's past tense, my money, mon argent. C'est plus facile. The other cool thing is going into the conjugation section. So for any beginner out there, I definitely recommend that if you're starting out with French, definitely learn the conjugation of the most popular verbs, okay? Because it will certainly help you with constructing sentences early on. So for example, let's click on parler, je pars, present tense. Yes, I would recommend first, especially if you're a beginner, just focus on learning the present tense verb, okay? So je parle, tu parles, il parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle. So that way you know how to say you speak, I speak, we speak, they speak, and you can start constructing sentences based on the vocabulary you also learn. So for example, je parle de ma vie, I speak about my life. So yes, my friends, I definitely recommend that when you actually study the conjugations, also practice writing them down so that way you know how they look like, how they're spelled, what they're supposed to sound like, etc. You can also click on each of them to see how they're supposed to sound. So for example,
J'ai. Tu as. Il a.
so yes, there's so much to explore. I definitely recommend you check out Reversal, conjugation, translation, all of it, spell check, it's all great. The next resource I would recommend is the Essential French Grammar Book. This is a great book. It's great reference with regards to grammar points, and it really does give great explanations about each point and examples. I do believe and feel that this is a great book to use as reference, so I'm actually going to show you guys an example of what's going on in there. Right here, we talk about the personal pronouns, the direct and indirect object pronouns, such as me, te, lui, le, la, nous, vous, le, etc. So you have all of that written there and it explains it to you which one is me, you, him, her, etc. Here it talks about definite articles and how they work, plural, singular, etc. Again, I do believe that this is a great book to use as reference if you're studying French and already have an idea of how the grammar works. Just using it and going back to it, it certainly does help, and it provides great examples as well. The last book I would recommend is the Complete French Grammar book. This certainly has to be my all-time favorite resource to go into. So what I really love is how it actually does provide exercise questions that you can practice based on what you learn from the book. And again, that's a great way to really learn and advance, because whereas the other book, it's great because it does explain to you the grammar points. I really love this book because it explains the grammar points, but then it gives you exercises that you can refer to. And in the back, you will find all the answers to those exercises, and you will see whether or not you are understanding the material. For example, like right here, I did write in my answers, but now what I'm doing is I'm actually writing it on a different piece of paper, because what I would like to do is I would like to actually practice doing the exercises and then go to the back and check it out. And if it's wrong at some point, I would like to actually come back and refer to these exercises to see whether or not I'm starting to get it. And yes, I really love it. This is way more ahead. I'm barely in the beginning. Thankfully, a lot of it I do understand because I did take 2 semesters of French 4 years ago, for those of you who may not know. And it certainly has helped because my French is still pretty good. And yes, I would definitely recommend this. It's a great book. And I really like this too because you have the French and English glossary right here. So this is a great way again to expand your vocabulary. And based on what you learn here, you can start practicing constructing sentences. The last thing I would love to recommend is using italki. So italki is a great website where you can connect with a tutor or professional teacher to work on and practice your French. And because I feel that I'm at a pretty intermediate level with my French, I'd like to believe that. I love to go on there because it really does help me improve on my conversational skills, and along the way, again, I'm able to learn and expand on new vocabulary that I didn't know before, or receive correction on sentences that perhaps I've been saying wrong because I thought they were right. So I would definitely recommend that as a great way to learn and expand on your French speaking and learning skills. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found value in it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for more upcoming videos each week. Click on the notification bell so you guys are notified each time. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next one.